Well, I wanted on this Wealthcast to address ways to handle the stress of world news. But before I do that, the good news is that the Avs won last night, third game in the Stanley Cup in overtime. And people in Colorado are pretty excited about that victory last night for hockey. So I want to shout out to the Colorado Avalanche and whoo, Stanley Cup awaits us. However, despite the excitement of sports and the Avalanche playing in Colorado for the Stanley Cup, the news has been hard. It's been really, really difficult. And taking care of yourself in difficult times is something that is learned. We need to actually be conscious of that behavior. So, I want to give you 5 ways to handle stress when world news or all the things around us don't seem to be going our way. So, the first is be kind to yourself and practice self care. We're not our best when we don't take care of ourselves first. So, self care looks different for each person. So, think about what you resonate with when it comes to self care and start putting it into practice. For me, I actually light a candle and play soft music with no vocals, and that whoo brings me down to a place where I feel like I can navigate whatever next steps are in front of me. To develop new skills, mental skills, physical skills. I mean, for mental skills, like boundary setting or reframing your anxious thinking or even a meditation practice. I think I've shared with you a few times that I have been doing meditation for now almost 4 years. And for someone who's ADD, it so helps me. It took me a long time to take the advice of others that kept telling me that I needed to do that. It has grounded me immensely. But even physical skills like exercise or finding a new hobby or creating a schedule to call friends or writing notes to stay connected with people that you love. During the pandemic, I actually signed up for 2 leadership and impact programs to keep me focused on positive things. So, and it was actually a huge time commitment, but it made a huge difference for me, particularly during the pandemic when many of us felt isolated and remote. 3, limit the news exposure. I know how hard that is, especially with the January 6th committee hearings and all these things going on around us in the capital markets and the Federal Reserve. Stay informed, but do that in a good way, like small doses. So, anyway, consider what I did is I actually turned off all my notifications on my phone and I don't go to social media for breaking news. So I do after I meditate, I actually do my news feeds and I scroll through and I get all my daily news from the Wall Street Journal and all the other subscription services that I have, Bloomberg and others that I need to know before I start my day. And I also don't keep my phone near my bed at night. So those are some of the things that I have done to limit my exposure to interruptions. And then fourth, rethink your routines. Analyze kind of what role stress plays in your life, in your day to day activities. What creates that stress? I know for me, when I have to cook, I am completely stressed about what meal I'm doing for that day. And so, having a Sunday routine where you create the meals for the week and all the groceries are purchased for that week, for me, makes a huge, huge difference when I have that task. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I have here that causes stress. But whatever it is, whether it's how you drive to work, if you are driving to work these days, figure out what are those things that cause you stress, reevaluate it, and come up with a new plan. I know that a good example that actually that's the story I wanted to tell is that last night Meg and I watched the movie Interceptor. It's a female army captain that protects this remote missile interceptor station in the middle of nowhere, and it was filled with action and adventure. And I could not sleep last night. My brain was so wild based on this movie that it took quite a bit of time for me to quiet myself down. So that's not a good routine to watch an action-based movie right before bed, at least for me. So anyway, um, I don't know if you'd like the movie Interceptor, but it was a chick lead, and she was kind of like a badass. So I did enjoy that piece of the movie. And then lastly, fifth, avoid worrying about things that you can't control. This is so important in the nature of my work as it relates to the capital markets, the Federal Reserve, inflation, all these things that are worrisome, but we have no control over it. So, what are the things that we do have control over that we could focus on that makes us feel more organized or that we have a choice about things? So, maybe organize it's summer, a neighborhood block party, or create a book club, or plan a camping trip with your family. Do things that allow you to disengage or engage with the people that you love and care about. So, those are my things 5 ways to handle stress in the world today. And thank you for listening or watching and have a super, super weekend as we go into, at least in Colorado, it is Pride weekend. So we have a big parade, first time in a couple of years, that makes it a lot of fun. All right. Thank you.